Good morning. There's a plane flying overhead here. We're in a flight path here, so we get a lot of planes, helicopters, and whatnot. I don't know if you can hear it or not. You probably can. Oh, it's kind of an interesting looking plane. It is. It looks a little different than most. I can't quite explain why, but it just does. Anyway, the wings are a bit different on it. I don't know how to explain it. And I can't really show it to you. It won't come up on this camera screen with the screen pointed this way, and I'm not able to turn it around once I start a video. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story, and I've kind of debated telling this story on here because I know some people will think I'm crazy. But it did happen, and I have no history of hallucinations, and I don't drink or use mind-altering substances, and I don't use cannabis or mushrooms or LSD or anything like that. Although when I was 8 years old, when I was used as a guinea pig, I was given LSD a couple of times, and by the medical people, and they even made videos. They even made like film, the old-fashioned 8 or 16 millimeter film, whatever it was. Well, there's somewhere in Gathering Dust, there's a few old black and white films of me as an 8-year-old high on LSD. Anyway, somewhere. I did get to see them once. I was showing them after they were processed. Anyway, the story I'm going to tell you tonight happened in the early 1990s when I was in my apartment above the Royal Bank in Perth, Ontario, Canada. In my apartment, now, in that building, I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of people that had weird experiences there. And there was an elderly woman that lived there for a while who was a mystic. And she said that the building was infested with negative energy. That's the way she put it. Anyway, this experience that I had occurred, it must have been around 1992, maybe 1993, somewhere in there. I was in my mid-20s at the time. I was recovering from a bout of pneumonia that had nearly killed me. And my lungs are still damaged from it. I still have scarred lung tissue from it, and that does still affect me at times. But anyway, at that time I was quite sick. I had lost a lot of weight. I could barely breathe. If I laid down flat on my back in the bed, I'd basically drown in my own fluids. So what I used to do is I used to sleep on my living room couch with pillows propped up against one end of the couch, against the arm of the couch. And I'd sleep with basically with the top part of my body elevated above my waist, From my waist up, I would sleep elevated so that I didn't drown, basically, in my sleep. And anyway, one night I'm sleeping, and it was around, I don't know when exactly, but the wee hours of the morning, like 2, 3, somewhere in there in the morning. And I woke up, and I was kind of startled when I woke up because there was this character standing at the end of the couch, and it was wearing a weird-looking old clown suit. It looked like it was a really old-fashioned clown suit that some clown in a carnival back in the 1800s might have worn. Looked a bit like Pennywise the clown, I guess. Not exactly, but similar. One of the things that was different about it, though, is that its face appeared to be rotting. Like it actually looked like it was decomposing. Anyway, it was standing there. It had a weird-looking hat on it and stuff. And it was standing there at the end of the couch looking at me. And when I woke up and I looked up and saw this thing, of course I kind of recoiled a little bit. It kind of startled me. And then it raised a gun, pointed a gun right at me. And it pulled the trigger. And there was a click. The gun didn't fire. It was just like a click, like a misfire would be with a gun, When he pulled the trigger, it just clicked. And then he said, "Bang! "You're dead!" And he started to laugh hysterically, and then he just faded away. And I was right up, perched up on the arm of that couch. It was wild. Anyway, that really did happen, and there were other things that happened there too. But it looks like my video limit has run out. I just got the notification, so I don't know how long it's going to go on. But